In this video we're going to be having a look at this Betopper compact beam moving head. Now this, full disclosure before we get any further, has been sent to me for them free of charge in order for a review. This is not on any particular terms and there is no script for this video, and all the findings are going to be as I find them. They've had no input on the creation of this video, the scripting or anything. So all I've done so far is I've just cut the top of this box open and the outer box just to save time on camera. But you can see here that this is the CLB260 full power compact beam. So this is a beam moving head. It features an 8 faucet prism. It's got 13 static Gobos and open, 11 fixed dichroic colours and white, because this is not LED, this is Discharge. It uses an Osram source. This is the Osram version. There are a couple of versions they do. One is an LED version, but that's not currently available at the time of filming. So we've got the manual here. So here's the actual part number for the lamp. So on here we've got Osram Sirius, don't know how you pronounce that, HRI 251 watt. So it's a 251 watt lamp. It's got a colour temperature of 7800 K. It has a beam angle of 2.8 degrees, strobe with variable speeds. That's probably going to be a shutter strobe with it being a discharge lamp. There's a colour wheel with 11 colours plus open and rainbow, so that'll be where it cycles through all of them. One static Gobo wheel with 13 Gobos plus open. We've got an 8 faucet prism with rotation and one independent frost with a fixed focus, so it's not electronic focus. 12 DMX channels, DMX 512 with RDM, which is remote fixture patching and detection. Coloured LCD display, 3-pin XLR connection on it. So that's the basic technical specifications of the unit. We've also got in here photometric information. So on here we've got the Gobo wheel and the colour wheel information, lamp replacement, how to replace the lamp, how to set it, the menus, the run modes, all the sub-menus. So all the information for what does what without having to guess is in the manual, which is quite nice. It even gives you the DMX channels and a table showing you at what number does what function. So it's quite a well-featured manual. We've also got a warranty card here, which has got a couple of QR codes on, probably for their socials and their website. Guarantee card. On the back here it says contact us for troubleshooting, 1 year guarantee, multiple languages on it. What's also a nice touch I've just seen in the box, it comes with a safety chain. So this is for when you're clamping it onto truss or wherever overhead, you would put this on. It seems not bad. It's PVC coated as well, it's not just bare steel wire. A lot of safety chains are just bare steel. This has got a layer of clay PVC insulation around it. The ends are crimped well, it's not sharp. The clip is a bit on the cheaper side and it doesn't lock, but again, it's included for free with the fixture. It's a decent length, no real complaints there. The bracket is here. This looks a little bit on the cheaper side. It's not a toolless bracket. I typically use Equinox moving headlights made by Pro Light here in the UK, because that's where I am, where I'm filming this from. So there are a couple of flat washers and a couple of serrated spring washers. You've then got some hex head Allen key bolts to attach the bracket to the light itself, which is here. That's where you'd put your clamp through, that's where it would fix to the light. And you also get a flying eye for the safety chain, so this will screw into the base of the light and you put the safety chain through this and wrap it around your truss or whatever you're fixing it to. We can see the actual light itself here now. So there's the actual beam. I'll try and just put this underneath to prop it up for you. We've got a power. Oh, I've actually just noticed the first problem with this. I'll put a link to their website in the description with more information on. But when you purchase off their site, you can select the country for the appropriate power cord and plug. Now I didn't place the order, they did it on my behalf and just shipped it to me. But obviously they've sent a UK plug because it's coming to the UK. That's all well and good, but this is an IEC or a kettle lead type connector. And I can tell without even taking the light any further out of the box that this is a PowerCon connection, these here. It's like a Speedcon plug, but for mains. Now I like to see that on lights, that's great. I'd much prefer that than these, because these are lock-in and more widely used on the professional end of things. But if I didn't already have a PowerCon cable, most people probably won't have one of these hanging around spare. So that's not great. I will probably send them an email about this and see if they send me the right power cable. Not as I need it as such, but just see what the support's like and I'll update you I'll put it on the bottom of the video or add that onto the end. Okay, so here is the power cable that should have come with it. This is a power con, so it's just literally like a speaker connector, but it's blue and it's for mains voltage. So luckily I've got one of these hanging around so I can show you it working anyway. But first impressions is that's quite a large beam lens. The housing is all plastic, as is with pretty much all moving heads, to be honest, these days. We've got vents here and here. These will be cooling for the light source, the lamp, which will be in the head up here. We've got a bit more ventilation down here, and a little more on that side as well. We've got side carrying handles, that's quite nice. There's more ventilation on both sides as well. The connections here. We've got our DMX in and out, a fuse, which it says is 10 amps. That seems a bit on the high side for the wattage of this unit. What's nice to see is a PowerCon link in and out. There's currently a video on their website that shows a version, must have been an earlier model, that has not got an output, it only has a PowerCon input on it. Underneath, where the bracket goes, we have got 2 screw hole points there. So there's one here and there, they'll be for the bracket. There is a cable sort of directly behind it, which is not ideal. It's only an earth cable though, so that's not major, and the screws may not be long enough to actually foul on it. Then there's a small threaded insert here. This will be for the mounting guy for the safety chain. It's got rubber feet on the corners. These are a bit dirty for some reason. They're sort of dusty. It's probably just from the factory, but they could have done with having given a wipe over. On the front of the unit here, we've got a nice shiny front panel. So this is OSR, which means it's the Osram version, and it's a CLB260. They also list it as a 9R beam on their website. Again, the link's below. We've got a DMX LED and an error LED. Then we've got the LCD display, which will give you all the menus and information relating to the light. OK, up, down, left and right for navigating through the menus. So I'm going to plug this into the power now. We'll get it on. I'll bring you in so you can see the screen a bit better. And we'll go through the menu and have a look at what the display is like on it. Let's see what happens. Bit of a delay there. The screen's come on, it says error. And it says resetting. It'll go through its locating procedure and then zero itself out. Now it's just stopped. It says 12CH, so 12 channel, 21C, 21 degrees, and then lamp off. 21 degrees is actually currently about what it is temperature wise here in the UK ambient. Okay, so I brought the camera in a little closer, that might be a bit easier for you to see now. So if you press right, it doesn't do anything, but left goes into the menu. So we've got address is the top setting, so if we enter that, that'll just take us back to the DMX address. Right arrow seems to go in. Run mode is to the right, so we'll go into that. So it's on DMX 512 mode at the moment. There's an option for auto, sound or test, so we'll run that in a minute. For now we'll just leave it off so it's not blinding me. MS choose, that must be master slave, yep. So it's set to as a slave or a secondary light. So this is if you have multiple of them, but you don't have them controlled by a lighting desk or any software. One will be the main unit that sends information out to the rest of the units which copy it. I'm just going to leave that as is for now. Manual control. In here we've got pan, tilt, fine for both of them. Pan, fine, tilt, fine. PT, SPD, that'll be pan and tilt speed, so how fast it moves. Strobe, dimmer, colour, Gobo, Prism, and frost. So if you adjust these, I'm assuming if I go in, it's now highlighted it, and I can move these up and down. So if you wanted to, you could set a specific Gobo, colour, pattern, whatever, and use it as a fixed spot in one area without having to use a lighting desk, which could be quite nice if you'd be using it for just projecting an effect or something like that. We've got setting, what's in here? So we've got pan invert and tilt invert, so that will reverse the pan or tilt of the light. So if you've got two of them and you want to copy each other mirror image, when one goes left, the other one will go right, and when one goes up, the other one will go down, for example. So you can set that here. I've done a video on master slave linking lights on my channel in the past. Different moving heads, but it is the same principle. We've got data hold, that is on. Data hold will be if the DMX cable gets unplugged or the lighting desk crashes or something, it will stop what it was, the last information it had, instead of going off. If you turn data hold off, it'll probably just black out and go to 0. so data hold is probably preferable. You have sound sensitivity, that's nice. A lot of light fixtures don't give you that functionality. This allows you to make the microphone more or less sensitive, so you can have the music quieter or louder. Some lights you have to have the music deafeningly loud for them to pick it up and react and move to it. So that's a nice function. Lamp switch, on or off, so that is where we can obviously turn the light on, the light source. I'm going to leave that off for now. Lamp state, power on manual. It's currently on manual. I'm assuming that will automatically turn the lamp on or wait for you to switch it on. So let's come out of settings. Next we've got display. Screensaver, off. Mode 1 I'm assuming will just put a screensaver on or black the display out after a predetermined amount of time. Screen reverse, that's just going to turn the screen upside down. So if it's hung on truss or a lighting bar, you would typically be looking at it the other way up, so it will just turn the screen around. Information, so in here it says stepper info, fixture status, version, light time and total time. So stepper info gives us just checks, so that's just check marking that everything's detected, I'm assuming, and working right. Fixture status, temperature 21, fan is 4590 RPM, you can hear the fan. It's not crazy loud, but it's not quiet either. If you were at any event with any level of music on, it would be fine. Version, board 1, version 1000, 26th of the 4th, 24. Light time, 26 hours, that's apparently how many hours are on the lamp or the bulb in it. Total time is 39 hours. I believe that these are tested in the factory before being shipped, so they must be given 24 hours roughly of testing because it's got 26 on it, so they're probably left for a full day before they're sent out. You then have a reset, which should just zero everything out and put it back to this state, and a factory setting, which I'm assuming will factory reset any manual changes you've made in this menu. So anyway, if we put it on run mode, we can go into sound, I suppose. And it's now started coming to life. It's actually moving quite quickly and all over the place. We may have to change the sound sensitivity on it because there's obviously no music playing right now. The lamp is gradually building up in brightness, the beam, so you can sort of maybe see, it'd be quite hard to see because that big light is on there. It's gradually getting brighter and brighter. It will take a minute or two to get to full intensity. If I'm quiet, it stops moving. If I tap on the casing, it reacts to sound now. The temperature is up to 44°C, so that must be the lamp temperature. That's steadily climbing. It's just blacked out the lamp. So obviously the lamp must black out if it doesn't pick up it. There must be a setting in the menu for that. So obviously this is very, very bright, and this room is nowhere near big enough for demoing such a fixture, which is not where I plan to demo it, but on the roof there you can't even make out the Gobo. I will get some smoke and show you this a little bit sound to light, but what I'm also going to do is take it to a venue and put it in there, and I'll get some videos of it in use. And I'm also going to take it to a large unit, set it up in there, and we can see what it looks like in a big room. We'll also go through the Gobos, the colours and the Prism and various other things and show you those features. So the light is now positioned 7 meters almost away from that wall, and because this thing is designed with such a tight beam angle, you can see that it's still not perfectly in focus. Let me try and get there. It's so bright the camera doesn't really like focusing on it. That's probably a bit better. You can see there's still a slight blur around the edge of it. It's not like sharp. You would have to go probably to 10 plus meters, maybe 15, to get it pin sharp. But since it's a beam, you're not so much interested in the Gobo pattern, but the effect it gives to the beam over that distance, aren't you? So bearing in mind, this is with all the lights on in here as well. And you can see just how bright this thing is. So I'm going to put a couple of different Gobos on and you can see the beam effect it gives. So there's white open, which is incredibly bright. And as we go through the different Gobos, we've got various different sizes of dot to give you a tighter beam. We've got crosses, dots, a star, various lines in different patterns, and also shaking Gobos, which make the beam wobble like that, various speeds. So this, you see they slightly differ the shape and angle of the beam. It's easier with haze to see this effect, but my hazer is actually currently broken, so I'm having to use a smoke machine for this. Okay, so Gobos. So you start with white and fully open. There's various dots which get smaller and smaller. And you have plus, some dots, some squiggly lines. You can see the focus being out because there's not enough distance to get it sharp. And there's no variable focus on this. So that concludes all the Gobos. You then go back to open. You then have shake with varying speeds for every Gobo. Slow and fast, faster and faster as you go higher. Towards the end there's Gobo scanning, where it goes through every Gobo, fast to slow. In both directions with that. Come back to here, we've got colours. So we've got white, which is just open, red, green, blue, yellow, orange, purple, cyan, green, blue, again different shade of blue. I believe this one is 6,000 Kelvin. No, this one is 6,000 Kelvin. I think this one's 3,000. Oh, and that's 3,500 Kelvin, and that's 6,000 Kelvin. And they've just open white, and then half and half colours, so you can go between depending on the address. There's then also rainbow effect with variable speed, same as with the Gobos. Slow to fast. In both directions again with this. You've then also got, if we put a small Gobo on, go with the smallest dot possible. So with the small dot here, you've also got the Prism, which is this. If we come out, you can see all 8 of the separate beams there. And you also have rotation of the Prism. From very, very, very slow all the way up to quite fast. And this can be done with any of the Gobos. But this will give you different effects depending on how big or small the circle is you put on the Gobo that you actually have loaded. You can also do Gobo shake on this. And you also have frost effect, which will sort of just wash out the beam. So you can now see the beam. I'll put the Prism on. So as you put the Prism in, it gives you this effect. And the smaller you go with Gobos, again this will be better with haze versus smoke, but this is the very fine dots, that's the small size dots. You've then got the crosses, and the stars, lines, and you can also make these rotate, which gives you all the individual beams of a distance like this onto the wall. That's with the small dots, that's most apparent with smoke. Again with haze that's thinner than this, you would see a lot clearer the other effects, and also over a bigger distance. This is, even though this is a large room at over 7 meters, 7.5 meters, these are really made for large spaces, so big concert halls, outdoors, etc. I'll put a few colours on this as well to give you an idea. So as you go through various colours, you can see that. And then if you put the frost effect on, it just gives you sort of a wash out beam of light. So I'll just turn that off now. You can see the lamp's pretty hot. It's at 85 degrees C, so 85 C when it's running, but it's quickly down to 81 already. You generally want to leave this once you power it off by turning the lamp off either in the menu, if you're using it standalone, or via DMX, and let it cool right down. So give it a good 5 minutes, get it down to below 40 degrees C, ideally in the 30s, before you unplug it, because the fan will keep running, and it's currently sucking in cool air and blowing out hot air. If you move it when it's too hot, you will damage the lamp, shorten the life of it, and potentially cause it to shatter and explode when you turn it back on. Okay, so now I'm going to do a quick sound to light demo. Fill the room with some smoke, as you can see, and I'm just going to let it go to the music. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video, because it's getting quite long as it is anyway. A few parting notes. For the money, the quality of this light seems okay for what it is. It's quite impressive. The output is very impressive. The brightness of it and the fact that it uses an Osram light source is very good. The build quality is alright overall. Customer support was really good. So I had a couple of issues that I contacted them over, and they were quick to sort that out. So that's promising. Being a Chinese fixture and the manual having been translated for it, not all of the features listed in the manual are applicable to this, as we found out with the likes of the dimmer, which doesn't work if it's a discharge lamp. So the other thing I noticed with the manual for this is that when I came to create a profile for this, for Freestyler, a DMX software, for doing the demo, the manual, what it states, channel and address or value for each Gobo and colour, etc. is not right. So they don't line up correctly. So I've made a profile based on the user's manual, and when I try and control this fixture with it, it shows you a different pattern to what's supposed to be there. So the manual needs some work, improvement on that, to update it to the correct values and have the correct Gobos at the right addresses. It'll just make life easier when you come to programming and building fixture profiles for things like this to control it in software. The reliability and long-term support is, well, that's yet to be proven. I'm going to use it for a while. We'll see what it's like. All I can do is keep you updated with that. I'm going to be making some further videos on these anyway. I have actually currently got 2 of these fixtures now. So having got a pair, we can deploy these in the lighting rig. The way that we're most likely going to use them going forward is on our larger lighting rigs. I'll put a couple of pictures up on the screen here and show you. We will program everything off a lighting desk, and it'll all be done over DMX scenes and such. So we don't really use sound to light very often. Because you want to be able to slow down and speed up the light appropriately based on what's going on. The one thing we don't currently have is a CAMSys fixture profile for this. We're currently using a Quick Q20 lighting desk, and I haven't got one on the website, so I'm going to request a fixture profile for that. The light output, the performance, and the speed that it moves at, and the noise it produces, overall is actually quite impressive for the price point for this light. They also do deals on them, so you can buy multiples at discounts, and there's a link in the description to their website with all offers and things on. See what they've currently got. If you have any questions or feedback or anything that you would like me to answer or my input on, feel free to ask that in the comment section down below. I'll try my best to help you out where I can. Long-term reliability is the only thing that I have questions about, and customer support if there's problems, and spare parts availability. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, and subscribe to my channel if you want to get some future random sound and lighting videos and electronics videos like this. Thanks for watching.